Irish Guy, and this video is sponsored by Manscaped. Yeah, I know. Again. Right, it's the summer now, right? So, some of you might be flying off to family holidays to the beaches of Estonia, and some of you will be trying to romance a crab on the beach in Magaluf, and some of you will be too busy kicking over sandcastles and throwing ice cream cones at toddlers. You know, just your typical Nelson Muntz. But lads, don't forget, when you're at the beach, you don't want to look like you've got a mini Wolverine hiding in your shorts. Yeah, I will talk about how Richarlison to Tottenham is a joke in a minute. But right now, let me just show you how to trim your pubic hair. Oh, it just brings back memories of my uncle in the shed. I mean, yeah, I know what you're thinking. Right now, you feel like barfing in your mouth. I mean, this is about as awkward a chat as when your mum tries to tell you about the time you were conceived on the couch.
I don't need to know that you're watching Bridget Jones' Diary with a glass of wine. Please stop talking.
But back to the topic. Don't worry, the great people at Manscaped can stop you looking like you've got a Harry Styles wig in your shorts. Manscaped has their Performance Package 4.0 to keep you looking nice and tidy. Go to manscaped.com and use the Irish code 20 for 20% off and free shipping. Inside this package, you'll find the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, the Weed Whacker and Nose Hair trimmer, Crop Preserver Ball Deodorant, Crop Reviver Toner, Performance Briefs, and a nice little travel bag to hold everything in it. I mean, the Lawnmower 4.0, it's waterproof and features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to reduce grooming accidents thanks to their advanced skin-safe technology. I mean, we don't exactly want your sink covered in blood. It's got a 7,000 RPM motor, a new multi-function on-off switch, and gives you the ability to turn the 4000K LED spotlight on and off when needed for a more precise shave. So go on, 20% off and free shipping when you use the code IrishGuy20 at checkout. Back into the video. Hello, I am the Irish Guy, and right, I'm sorry, is this 2018 all over again? I mean, have I gone back in time? I mean, right now, are there stuffy nerds camping outside the cinema to go and watch Venom? Because I remember back during that summer, I vividly remember tucking into a box of 3-week-old lasagna and found in a bin, and saw that Everton had agreed to pay £50 million to buy Richarlison from Watford. Now, let's be real, Everton have been financially sick in their own mouth for years. Honestly, this is an ownership which was supposed to guarantee European football every year. You know, trophies and a big fat stadium for the fans. Instead, last summer, that long road over the rainbow just led to them begging Andros Townsend to join in a free. And honestly, that was as a result of chucking big bags of cash at overrated mid-table slime. Honestly, Farhad Moshiri was supposed to be the Everton saviour, but to me, he's just another Tinder swindler. You know, that Netflix pretty boy who somehow managed to get Swedish airheads to give him all their credit cards for him just to spend on wine and caviar. And I'm sorry, but Richarlison is a waste of money. I don't understand why everybody seems to rate him in the world we live in, and to such a high, mind-boggling degree. I mean, Christ, look, we had Jimmy Redknapp comparing him to a young Ronaldo while at Watford. Again, I'm sorry, 5 goals in the Premier League for Watford, and I'm pretty sure I remember him missing an open goal against Chelsea. Again, those were the stats of a teenage Ashley Young. And would he have started for Brazil? Pretty sure Dani Alves would have bullied him out of the squad. I mean, Christ, well, half the Brazilian lads would probably have shaved off his eyebrows on the bus or poisoned his protein shake in the canteen. You know, just chucking in pieces of dead skin they peeled off their feet. I mean, on a team bonding trip to Disneyland before the World Cup, they'd probably have tried to stab him in the groin with a pencil on the teacups. Just anything to ditch her from the Selecao. I was convinced that Everton, choosing to part with £50 million for some Brazilian child who'd been outscored at Watford by Troy Deeney, I honestly thought that was a financial heart attack at the time. I mean, it's a bit like when your dad comes home from work and announces that he spent the family savings on a handful of magic beans and a blow-up doll. Yeah, the family will be well within their rights to chuck hot soup in his eye. The way people fawned and talked about Richarlison, you'd swear Everton had just got their hands on a Brazilian Wayne Rooney. No, everyone, wake up! I feel like everyone is being brainwashed. You're all living in the cult of some average Brazilian. This feels like the plot of Hot Fuzz 2. Am I the only one who can see him for what he is? Some overrated show pony who belongs in mid-table forever. I mean, lads, Gabriel Bonhor right now is a chubby pundit breathing waffle into a TalkSport microphone, right? I mean, to you, me, and everyone on the street, this man has a football legacy about as inspiring as, I don't know, a veggie stew boiled in the toilet. He was nothing special and left behind 7 seasons of dross at Villa Park. And yet that man, when he was in his mid-20s, was on a par with Richarlison. Just a 10 to 12 goal a season footballer who's also constantly looking like he's chewing on a wasp. Someone whose resting face is always a frown. Honestly, both these fellas look like they're about as much fun as Katie Hopkins in a morgue. I mean, she'd probably spend about half an hour critiquing the dead. The only reason Richarlison gets big money moves and Bonhor was left to rot in Birmingham is because he wasn't from sunny Brazil, instead just grubby Solihull. I mean, knowing that city's level of healthcare, I wouldn't be surprised if he was born in the car park at McDonald's. But come on, people, wake up! I feel like Frank Grimes when he tried to convince the entire nuclear power plant to realise that Homer Simpson had the IQ of a foot. Please, everyone, just wake up! Everton are notoriously bad with money. Is it any coincidence then that the only other club in world football hypnotised by Richarlison and ready to pay big money was Barcelona 2 years ago? Remember that £85 million bid? I mean, by the way, considering Everton at the time were about a year out from their bank laughing in their face, honestly, that club are so financially screwed, I wouldn't be surprised if it comes out that for the last 3 months of the season, the players were forced to drink toilet water. I mean, even Frank Lampard was probably told to bring in a packed lunch and eat it in his car, while everyone else was forced to bite off chunks of the carpet in the reception. So really, Everton, they should have accepted that bid. 85 mil. They should have taken that and run. I mean, that's a Harry Maguire paycheck. Honestly, I've said it a million times. If this guy wasn't from Brazil, the holy motherland of football, and instead grew up in a village in Finland, if he had a Viking-esque beard like Timo Pukki, and it looked like he cut his hair in the dark, then honestly, nobody would look at him twice. And it's just unfair, because you want to talk about mid-table goal machines? Well, Benny McCarthy scored 24 goals in his debut season for Blackburn Rovers, and 2 years after he just won the Champions League with Porto. But instead, because he was born in a rugby country like South Africa, not really a nation that has much of a footballing pulse, and with a surname that sounds like it came from Sligo or Roscommon, then because of that, the only team who tried to buy him was Sunderland. But trust me, if he was from Rio or Sao Paulo, he'd have probably been joining Barcelona that year. I mean, Papi Cisse put up similar numbers for Newcastle, but all he ever got were lazy links to Qatar. Football is all about image. I mean, last season, excluding penalties, he scored 7 goals, the exact same total as his Brazil buddy Rafinha. But this guy, he was playing up front. He was the lone centre forward last season. 7 goals? 7! And that warrants a £60 million move. Does nobody remember from mid-January to mid-April, for the crunch time of the season, he went 9 games without a goal. Listen, I know he ended the season well and was fantastic in the spring, but you can't just forget the rest of the season. I mean, when he was fit, he was about as intimidating as a pig in a mini skirt. You are paying £60 million for someone who last season was outscored by Timo Pukki of Norwich. I'm sorry, Timo, I don't mean to keep picking on you, but let's be real, you look like you belong on the set of Game of Thrones. You are not a Premier League centre forward. But again, me picking on a Norwich City employee, it's kind of like low-hanging fruit, isn't it? I mean, next I'll be picking on the city for advocating marriage between cousins. Well, we all know what you're up to behind closed doors. Richarlison to Tottenham is a woeful transfer. Make no mistake about it. This man has been bought to play on the right wing. I mean, Tottenham did not just pay £60 million for a backup striker to Harry Kane. No, nobody with any sense of pedigree wants to move to Tottenham to play second fiddle. It's why, for years, they've been forced to settle for big bags of unmotivated earwax like Vincent Janssen, Fernando Llorente, and Carlos Vinicius. I don't think any top striker with any ambition has been desperate to sit on Tottenham's bench. I mean, since they tried to buy Saido Berahino from West Brom. And considering he's turned out to have the footballing ability of a piss-soaked Xbox, then I think we can see why. Tottenham got lucky with Harry Kane. But the truth is, since 2006 when they signed Dimitar Berbatov, this club has never really looked like they knew what they were doing when signing a striker. I mean, it's a club that turned down Luis Suarez the same season they tried to buy Andy Carroll. I mean, 10 years ago, they were willing to pay big for Abel Hernandez. You know, the guy who'd go on to flop at Hull. And don't tell me he could have played up front with Harry. Because the same year the world was going to end, then having a strike partnership of Kane and Abel would have made every priest in North London run for the hills. Richarlison is surely bought to play in a front three with Harry Kane and Son mid. But how underwhelming can you get? For Everton, this man scored 5 goals from the right wing. 5. But even then, Dejan Kulusevski was on fire last season, so maybe he has been bought to play the backup role when Harry Kane is sick. If so, then in a World Cup year, this man has agreed to spend this autumn suffocating on the bench. This is not a clever career move. Richarlison has now cost over £100 million in career transfer fees, and this is only his 3rd move in Europe. That alone, trying to digest that. Tastes a bit like if someone did a poo in my porridge. Money in football is mental now. £60 million for a guy who was nearly relegated to the Championship. I mean, this is like 2022's answer to Darren Bent. I'm sorry, but your job as a Brazilian superstar was to score enough goals for Everton to keep them up. That was the bare minimum. I mean, you started the season with Rafa Benitez in charge, and the previous year, Carlo Ancelotti was tipping you for 30 goals and the Golden Boot. So really, Premier League survival is the absolute minimum requirement. For supposed world-class world-class talent like you, that should have been about as straightforward a to-do list as buying broccoli in Tesco. And yet Everton were just 5 points away from then signing up for a season of travelling to Wigan, Luton and Bristol City. And I guarantee, if he had been relegated, he would not be getting a move to the Champions League. Probably just scuttling out the back door to a team like Valencia or Roma. Everton must be furious with Tottenham. Apparently Bill Kenwright and Daniel Levy were out to dinner last week. A surprise Bill didn't reach over the table and shove a fork in his eye. Was that too violent? Sorry, I just watched the latest Saw film last night. And yes, predictably, it was about as entertaining as watching your nan eat cereal off the floor. But lads, Everton are already at the mercy of Tottenham. And it's all due to Dele Alli. Everton are at a financial crossroads. Because Tottenham have essentially hand-packaged them a bag of uncooked donkey knobs. Dele Alli is a washed up, past it human man-child. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised to see him retire by 30 and then just wind up getting off on one of the Saturdays and I'm a celebrity. But either Everton and Frank Lampard just need to accept that Tottenham have given them a poisonous love of Deadwood to babysit, or, on the other hand, if he does well, they'll have to pay Spurs £40 million. I mean, he's on a contract for another 2 years. So if Everton do sell him, then a quarter of the transfer fee still goes to Tottenham. Honestly, Spurs, they've got Everton by the scrotum. At least Everton now have a guaranteed £50 million paycheck to spend, right? How do you replace Richarlison? I mean, if it's Emmanuel Dennis, then Frank Lampard might as well prepare for the Christmas sack. I mean, especially now that Wayne Rooney's out of work. Oh, lads, having him peer over your shoulder from afar, it's like going on a picnic with Jimmy Vardy's wife. I mean, just be careful not to choke on your sandwich or spill milk on your crotch, or that's going live on Snapchat via the hidden camera in her purse. Just kidding, Rebecca, alright, that's just a joke. But hiring Dennis, there'll be a Runa Coney part 2. I mean, don't forget, he scored 13 goals in one season for Wigan and also helped them win the FA Cup. I mean, it didn't stop him then being a big lump of undigested oatmeal in a toffee's shirt. I think I've got the replacement that Everton needs. And it's Anthony Martial. Yeah, you might all think that I've gone temporarily insane. No way would a former golden boy choose to join a team who just finished 16th in the Premier League, right? But, lads, why not? Beggars cannot be choosers. This is a guy who spent the last 7 years at Manchester United. And yeah, 30 France caps sounds like a lot, but he's never gone to an international tournament with his country. This man had his lifeline loan move away last season, but turns out that even Sevilla was clearly too high a level for him. I mean, he was supposed to come in as the wild card and help them win the La Liga title. 12 games, 1 goal, and none in the league. He was a Sevilla flop. And bear in mind, this is a team where Luke de Jong was scoring goals. When Martial is on it, he's a brilliant player. I mean, during the 1920 season, he scored 23 goals for Man United, including 17 in the Premier League. That's just one less than Benny McCarthy back in the day. He was also scoring the club's first Premier League hat-trick in over 7 years. Which honestly is a statistic so tragically pathetic I think I might cry. It's just, this man has never recovered from October 2020, when he slapped Eric Lamela in the face, got sent off, and watched his team concede 6 to Spurs. Since then, he's been a bubbling clown. But moved to Everton. I mean, it's the only team he actually managed to score against last season. Move to Everton and fill the Richarlison void. Get back to being the main man. Otherwise, Tony, what's the alternative? Waiting around on the Old Trafford bench trying to catch the eye of Steve McLaren? Does that really sound like fun to you? This guy has 2 years left in his Man United deal, so go to Everton. Go out there and spend £30 million on Martial. I mean, I would see them switch to a 4-2-3-1 formation, with Calvert-Lewin starting the season up front and supported by Martial on the left, Dele Alli in the number 10 role, and Anthony Gordon on the right wing. 4 players, all with points to prove. And let's be real, this time next year, Martial, you're probably going to be being managed by Wayne Rooney. You know, your former United teammate, someone who knows how you tick. But as for Richarlison, if he scores 10 league goals for Tottenham this season, I will take a bath in mud. Anyway, that's what do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Is Richarlison gonna be a success? Let me know. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe as always. I'll talk to you in a while.